Hello, and in this lecture we're going to be talking about mobile security framework MOBSF. Now, mobile security platform MOBSF is, like it says, a mobile security application that analyzes Android applications and analyzes iOS applications too. It's pretty cool. So here's MOBSF here. As it says, it's an automated all-in-one mobile application, Android, iOS, Windows, pen testing, malware, analyst, and security assessment. Framework compatible or performing static and dynamic analysis. You can have a read of this if you want. It supports APK, IPA, and APEX, along with zip source code and provides REST APIs for seamless integration with your CI/CD or DevSecOps pipeline. Now, they have a demo there as well, but it doesn't really work properly. I've had bad experiences with it, but here's the screenshots of the application. It's got the providers that it can find and the receiver services activities. Then you can analyze these with ADB, Android Debug Bridge. It's got different issues that it finds. Obviously you can read and write to the external storage. If you look close, this is what it says. It tells you if you've got any SQL injection vulnerabilities, things like this. And I'm going to be showing you how to set this up. It's very simple, very simple. All you need to do is you need to grab this SVN, this repository here. You need to clone it through git clone and then type in the SVN, and that should download and install it. Do an ls. You obviously cd into the mobile into the folder, and then you just type in a setup sh.setup.sh. Should install it all for you, and then you just type in ./run.sh, and that will start up the framework. Then we just head over to our browser and we just type in localhost, and then we just type, it's on port 8000. So we run that. This is what it looks like. So the application we're going to be analyzing is our, where is it? TransferWise. So we just drag and type in that. That's basically this one here, TransferWise. It's on BugCrowd. We analyze that. It's got to start analyzing now. Start doing all the magic, all the fun stuff. Sorry about that. That's a dog. And once that's analyzed, it just takes a tiny bit of time. Just takes a little bit of time. Shouldn't take much longer. Let that load. I think a quicker one that we can actually use, which takes a lot less time, is this one here. Let's do this one actually. This won't take that long. It pretty much does it straight away. It's a very small program. Here you go. It's done. Let's analyze it now. This one doesn't take long at all because it's a very small application. I'll just let it load. I'll drink some of my coffee because I've just woken up. Decided I'm motivated to do a little bit of this course. So this course is going to be released very soon, which is going to be exciting. And then you can see in the background it's actually doing all this, it's actually printing out what it's actually doing. So read an Android manifest file, pass an Android manifest file, decompiling an application, then it reading Android manifest, static code analysis, and now it's doing the static code analysis on the application. It's parsing, it's doing all the stuff now. It's running AppKid or APKid. I don't know what that is. It's run now. Trackers database is up to date, detecting trackers. Pretty cool. It tells you what it's actually doing in the background, which is nice and nifty. And also, what you want to do is, if you get invited to a private program in a BugCrowd, like BugCrowd or HackerOne, like a bug bounty program, you just want to open up this app, this web app, and you just want to drag in the application straight in there, because a lot of the times when they're releasing a private program, they obviously there's many hackers that haven't been on there for quite a while. So what you'll find is you'll find some issues probably. So you want to try and just run this first, and then try and open up in Burp like in my previous tutorials and my previous lectures, and then you want to actually analyze it that way. So start off with this program if it's a mobile-based application, web app bug bounty program, sorry, even if it's got like a domain and also a Android application and an iOS application, you want to then run this first before you actually look deeper with Burp. So here's what it looks like. So you can just scroll down, but I'm going to use these little breadcrumbs here. So you've got information, tells you about the file name, tells you the size of the application. It's very small. Things like that. Play Store information. That's the COVID-19 application scan options. You can recompile the program. You can start dynamic analysis. We're not going to cover today. Download APK. You can do all that sort of stuff. Signature verification or signature certification. Sign a certificate. Sorry, my bad. I'm not speaking properly. So this tells you the certificate that it's got. I think it's the RCA, the SSL certificate. I think it is. Looks good. And here's the permissions that they allow. This is what the permission. This is the application's permissions. This is what the user to accept. This is the permissions they need to use. So obviously they access background location. So they have GPS. They have the GPS enabled in the application. So it does a lot of Bluetooth stuff, foreground service, internet, so you can access internet. Some of these can be quite dangerous. You can use ADB to actually exploit these. Then it's got the Android Java API, so it tells you some APIs of the different libraries they use to help look deeper and find vulnerabilities in the libraries. And here's the manifest analysis. So there's some broadcast receivers. There's stuff that are pretty bad. And here's where it comes to the code analysis. So I actually reported a bug on here. They had a SQL injection vulnerability. They had a SQL vulnerability. I'm not going to look at that yet, but because I don't want to disclose the vulnerability. But you just click on these files and you can view the code of the application. And if you'll see a query like this, for instance, if it's doing something like it's doing this, for example, say it's doing that, but instead it might be going like cursor, execute SQL, and say it has this, but instead of the 1, say it's got like a plus and an ID and then a plus and then that. If it's got that, oops, I actually did that twice. If it's got something like that, this means that this ID is being concatenated. If you can just see that, sorry, I might have to zoom in. So this ID is being concatenated, and it's untrusted. So if this is accessible by the user, we can actually, if this is an input by the user, we can actually exploit this as SQL injection code. You need to write mitigations that they have. If this was found in the code, then they haven't got the right mitigations. They haven't got parameterized queries, bind variables, and prepared statements. And you can look at Java mitigations for that, because a lot of times in a bug bounty program, it's useful to ask the code mitigation. So if you just go, prevent SQL. Sorry, I can type prevent SQL injection Java. It will tell you how to actually fix it up. So obviously, this is a good example. There's a good example here. So this would be the vulnerable code here, vulnerable, and this will be the fix, which is to use some sort of connection set up and then to use a prepared statement. So instead of having this directly concatenated, you have a question mark, which is like a placeholder variable. It's a bind variable, and then you set the string. So one would be the ID, so it'd be like ID. Kind of looks like this actually. I'll show you. Show the fix here. So boom, 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 and then would have the same thing. So would have question mark and comma, and then would have here ID. That's pretty much the fix there, right there, like that. So that's pretty much looking at SQL injection vulnerabilities in a web app. But then there's also other stuff, like we can look at the security analysis at a minute. We've done that one. The file analysis, we've done that one. Also, the malware analysis, so it might show us if we've got any malware in application or anything malicious or bad about it. That's some reconnaissance, so we can look at the URLs, which is pretty cool. This could be used for many different things. And then Firebase DB. So another really useful thing to do, always check if you find a Firebase URL. You should, 9 times out of 10 you will, is you copy this and you run a program called Let's have a look. It's called Fire Over. Now, Fire Over is a Firebase takeover tool. Firebase takeover tool. So you immediately want to run this within the Fire Over, and if you can write to it, then report that straight away. Obviously, permissions denied because they've got the right access controls. Emails, so email disclosures, probably not worth reporting. Trackers, strings are very useful, and you might be able to find API keys within here. So if you find an API key like Google, you want to then go to Gmaps. I think it's Gmaps. IP scanner, and you want to run this program here. This will make sure that it receive the APIs are vulnerable. So I can show you that. There's another program too. I'll provide in the resources, another GitHub repository. But Gmaps scanner, and then you want to run this. You can use the Python 3 one. Scanner Python 3, and then you want to put in the API key, and then it will check to see if it's vulnerable. Obviously, this isn't a vulnerable key, so we can't actually attack this one. So it's not vulnerable, so we can't attack this one. We can't actually use this API. If we could, then that's something to report. So you might find some API keys in your components. You can do a PDF generation. Shows all the files that are actually extracted to, which is pretty useful. You might find, like, for instance, look, there's a SQLite database, which is worth looking into. It's only the version, so it's actually a DB. So probably nothing to look at, actually. But yeah, this is a very good application. You can also start a dynamic analysis, but I haven't not yet figured that one out. Or is it going to work now? Hey, let's have a look. It actually might work. This is good. This actually might work. Anyway, I'll save static analysis for another video. But yeah, just keep on practicing, keep on hacking, and you'll eventually get better at it. Cheers, happy hacking, enjoy the next lecture.